Hola, buenas noches a todos. Bienvenidos a nuestro webinar acerca de writing. Mi nombre es Janitzio Morales y soy coordinadora de logística y administración de los cursos IELTS para Live, que es cursos online de IELTS. Sean todos bienvenidos. Con nosotros se encuentra también nuestra tutora IELTS, quien será la que dará la masterclass today. Entonces, voy a empezar a dar unos puntos básicos acerca de esta habilidad y después vamos a continuar con la teacher Al-Heidi, que está aquí con nosotros. Lo único que tienen habilitado ustedes es el chat. Entonces, en caso de que quieran participar, hacerme una pregunta a mí o a la tutora que nos acompaña el día de hoy, ustedes tienen habilitado el chat para que puedan hacerle la pregunta. ¿Ok? Que tengan todos buenas noches y comenzamos. Bueno, el webinar de esta ocasión es acerca de writing. Ya habíamos tenido dos webinars anteriores acerca de receptive skills, que son, listening y reading. Okay. Teníamos otros tutores que nos acompañaron durante esta webinar. Antes que nada quisiera platicarles un poco acerca de lo que se trata el examen IELTS, pero aparte, sobre todo la habilidad de writing. Nos dice aquí que el writing es la sección del examen. Como ustedes saben, el IELTS es un certificado, es una examinación de inglés funcional. La parte de writing es la sección del examen en la que deberás plasmar tus ideas en un texto donde argumentes, describas o interpretes con claridad. Básicamente, el writing es la parte donde escribes, donde vas a tener que realizar unos tasks, de los cuales describiré ahorita los dos tasks que tenemos que realizar en los dos tipos de examen que pueden presentarse en el IELTS, que son General Training y Academic. Entonces, es la parte donde tienes que escribir. Y básicamente en este tipo de exámenes, como ustedes saben, o porque ustedes me imagino que están aquí porque van a presentar el IELTS, tenemos dos tipos de examen, el Academic y el General Training. Entonces, en estos dos tipos de examen tienes que hacer dos tareas, o tasks, como les llamamos. En el IELTS Academic, la primera tarea es diferente a la que presentan los de General Training. Aquí en la primera tarea vas a describir, explicar, resumir o interpretar una gráfica, mientras que en el General Training tienes que redactar una carta de al menos 150 palabras. La duración de ambos tasks es de 20 minutos y lo que se evalúa en cada uno de ellos es diferente. Se evalúa en la primera, que es el academic, se evalúa la capacidad para identificar claves de la gráfica o tabla y proveer información detallada. Mientras que en el General Training se evalúa la habilidad para explicar el motivo por el cual estás escribiendo la carta, complementar instrucciones y usar un tono adecuado en esta. La única, estas dos tareas o tasks son diferentes en cada uno de los exámenes, como les estaba comentando. La única tarea que comparten en común es la del ensayo, que es el task 2. Es escribir un ensayo sobre un tema en específico y este ensayo tiene que contener al menos 250 palabras. La duración de tiene que ser de 40 minutos y en se va a calificar tu capacidad o habilidad para opinar sobre un tema y argumentar con ayuda de ejemplos, datos o evidencias. Puede ser cualquier tema. No hay un tema en específico y ese lo vas a averiguar hasta cuando presentes el examen. Entonces, sin más preámbulos, quisiera presentarles a la tutora que va a estar con nosotros hoy. Ella es una tutora de muchos años de experiencia. Es una de nuestras tutoras que dan los cursos aquí con nosotros. Y quisiera que ella se presentara, nos contara y empezara su masterclass. Gracias, teacher.
No worries, honey. Thank you. Hello, everyone. Thank you for the introduction, honey. Everyone, my name is Al-Heidi, and we're going to be talking, as writing mentioned, as Hani mentioned before, about writing, okay? So first of all, let me tell you a little bit about myself. Let me share my screen real quick. Okay, So my name is Aleidi. I've been teaching for almost 10 years already. I'm a Celta and Delta certified teacher, and I've been teaching IELTS for almost 6 years. Now, the focus of today is on writing, particularly writing section 2. As Hani mentioned, is the only task that general training and academic IELTS have in common. Today, we're going to be looking at some common mistakes based on the criteria that we're going to be using to evaluate you during our courses. One of these first items is what we call task achievement. What do we need to create a really, really good essay? I'm going to teach by the example, and whenever I ask you questions, you can feel free to answer through the chat, okay? Does that make sense? So let us check. We're going to start with an example of an answer, a model of an essay. We have a task that says, it is a common belief that people in developed countries spend too much money on their pets and that the money could be better used elsewhere. What are your views? So this is an IELTS task. This is what an IELTS task looks like. And we have an example of an answer. We have an essay, but this essay has a mistake. I'm going to give you, let's say, 1 minute for you to read the essay and tell me what is the mistake that you're able to identify. So 1 minute in there. Whenever you have your answer, let me know in the chat. Think about the question. What are your views? Exactly. Okay, so you cannot see it, but Matthias sent me a message saying this person doesn't write about his views. And that is exactly the mistake. When we're taking a test, we need to really focus on what the questions are, what they're really asking from us. Yes, we have an essay over there that is structured in different paragraphs. That is something good. And we have different points of view. But the task specifically asks, what are your views? And that is something that we don't have. So immediately, we know that in terms of this criteria of task achievement, we are not going to get all of our marks because we're not really achieving the task. Another example of this is the following. I'm going to show you another IELTS task. So let's read it together. Psychologists have known for many years that color can affect how people feel. For this reason, attention should be given to color schemes when decorating places such as offices and hospitals. How true is this statement, and how far does color influence people's health and capacity for work? How can we make sure that we address all parts of the task? And this is one strategy that I'm going to give you today. we're going to identify keywords. I will help you out identifying some of the keywords that we have in this task. Keywords are going to be all of the important information that we're going to include in our essay. On this particular occasion, we have color affect how people feel. Because of this, attention needs to be given to color schemes when decorating places such as offices and hospitals. And we have our questions. How true is this statement? And how far does color influence people's health and capacity for work? Once that we have identified all of our keywords in our task, we can be 100% sure that all of this needs to be included in our essay. If you answer this essay only talking about how people feel in terms of color, we are not going to achieve the task. If you only talk about how color influences people's health, but not work capacity, we are not achieving the task because we are not covering everything. So it is very, very important that we always try to identify all parts of the question. And that is the focus that we're going to have, and that is how we evaluate you in terms of task achievement. So to summarize this part, task achievement consists of you having a clear position, like we saw at the beginning. If they ask for your opinion, you give your opinion, and covering all parts of the question. Does that make sense, guys? Can you give me a thumbs up over there, at least, so I can see? I can see you. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. Okay, let us continue then. The next part of the criteria, it's a little bit more complex because we're going to talk about grammatical range and accuracy and lexical resource. And over here, I want you to participate actively in the chat, okay? You can have, or you can send a message to everyone. You don't have to send them to me in a private message. So we can see everyone participating. I have a short paragraph extracted from a real IELTS essay. You will notice that this paragraph has some mistakes. Let's see if we are able to identify these mistakes together. And let's go the sentences, okay? Let's start with the first sentence. We have one step the government could take to reduce people's water consumptions would be to have more water restrictions and stricter penalties for those who do not comply. We have several mistakes in there. What mistakes can you identify? Let me know in the chat. I'm going to give you a hint. Okay, so Fiorella says, again, you cannot see it, but Fiorella says peoples. That is one. Well done. So what we're missing in here is the apostrophe. People already refers to a plural noun. So we don't add an S, but we need the apostrophe for possession. What else? You have another mistake on the same line. What is it? Anyone? So let's talk about the word consumptions. Okay, well done. Well done, Fiorella. The next one, the next mistake over here is consumptions. We cannot say one consumption, two consumptions, because consumption is an uncountable noun. This over here is a mistake. Uncountable nouns do not have plural forms. Okay, the next one would be to have more water restrictions and stricter penalties for those what do not comply. I'm going to give you a hint. The mistake is over here. What's the mistake? Aha, okay, so Raul says what? What is the mistake? And what is the correct answer? So if it is not what, it is going to be who. Okay, it is going to be who, or it's going to be that, because we're talking about people. And that is a particular grammar structure that we can have in our essays. Those are called relative clauses. Okay, good job. Next sentence. So we go a little bit faster. At the moment, in Western Australia, people is only permitted to water their lawns on particular days and within particular hours. What do we have in there? Which mistakes? We have two mistakes. Western. Okay, what is the mistake in there, Raul? And apart from the capital letter, we have one more mistake. Aha. So this is in terms of punctuation, guys. Capital letters and without the H. So that is a spelling mistake. Notice the different mistakes that we can have in such a small paragraph. We have one more mistake on the same line. Remember what I told you about people? Okay, so it's not people is. What is it? People are. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you over there, Cesar and Raul. People are. Okay, good job. Good job. And in the last sentence, we have, these laws have been in place for a number of years. However, many people flaunt them, knowing they are unlikely to be punished. We have two mistakes in there, in that last sentence. Can you spot them? So let me help you out a little bit. Over here we have one. So what is it? Okay, Raul says this. What is the mistake in there? And why? Why should be this in this of this instead of this? To meet the number, okay, because we're talking in plural. So we use this when we talk in singular and this when we're talking in plural, as it is in this case. Laws have been in place. Okay, thank you. And we have one more towards the end of the sentence. Many is okay. Knowing they, that is also okay. We have it a little bit more. towards the end of the sentence. I'm going to give you a hint. Think about passives. Aha, Cesar has the answer. So he said punished. Instead of punish, we need punished as part of the passive structure. Okay, good job. Good job over here, guys. Now we are missing one more spelling mistake in the first line that no one noticed. It's towards the beginning. Aha, good job, Raul. So we have government. We were missing an N in there. So these are the details, guys. This is for you to have an example of the details that we consider when we are evaluating or when we are checking your essays, because this is part of the criteria. The type of grammar that you use, how accurate is it? The spelling, if your spelling is appropriate. So in terms of the criteria, one of the things that you're going to be paying attention to during our courses are the use of grammar structures, not only simple grammar structures, but complex, how to use them correctly, and the correct spelling and use of words. All of this fits into that criteria. One last criteria that we pay attention to is in terms of coherence and cohesion. So let me show you the same. This is the same paragraph that we just saw with all the spelling and grammar mistakes. This time doesn't have any grammar mistakes. This time is perfect. But it still has a big problem. Can you identify what it is? Take a look at it, read it, and tell me what the problem is. Too many sentences, okay, that might be one. Too many sentences, that is one. What else? Why do you think we have too many sentences? Because they don't join the ideas. Okay, and Cesar over there is saying no linking words. We have the ideas are not connected. We have isolated sentences. The government should have more regulations about water. They should police the rules strictly. In Western Australia, people can only use water sometimes. It's like these sentences are isolated. We don't have any linking words. Apart from that, what other problem can you identify? Apart from not having linking words, there's another reason why these sentences are short and not connected. Pay attention to the tenses in here. Which tenses are we using? Which tenses can you identify in here? Okay, good job, Fiorella. Simple present. What else apart from simple present? And future, what type of future? Future simple. So we have simple present and simple future, simple or future simple, however you prefer. Now, do you think in a real IELTS situation, this is going to achieve a high band score? Yes, no, what do you say? It doesn't have any grammar mistakes. But do you think it's going to get a 7 or an 8? No. Fiona says no, no. And the answer is no. Obviously no. Why? Because this is not how we write. This is not how we use the language. And exactly, Fiorella, because there are no complex structures. As we were mentioning before, in terms of coherence and cohesion, you mentioned that there are no linking words. These ideas are not connected. And apart from that, we don't have an enough range of grammar. As you previously identified, the only tenses that we are using are present simple or future simple with will. At the beginning, you also mentioned that we had too many sentences. And apart from that, they are very short and simple. There are no complex structures, like Fiorella is mentioning. There are no conditionals, no passives, no relative clauses, or any other complex grammatical structures. So evidently, this is not going to get a high band score. And this is exactly what we want to avoid. Does that make sense? Can you give me another thumbs up in there? You see that we are all on the same page? Okay, okay. Only Raul? The rest of you? Okay, good over there, Perela. Let us continue on the same aspect of coherence and cohesion. Oh, I see you there, Hector. I'm going to show you another example of another question for our IELTS test. We have many people in society believe that having fixed punishments for all crimes is a more efficient way of dealing with criminals in the justice system. What are the advantages and disadvantages of having a fixed punishment? This is an advantages and disadvantages essay. We're going to learn how to identify it in our lessons. I will show you an example of an answer, and this answer again has a problem. Can you identify what the problem is? It's very evident. No organized structure. So what is the structure that we should have in an essay, Raul? Or a general question for everyone. What is the structure that we should have? Okay, good. So we have the introduction, it says over there. The intro. How do we call the arguments and the examples combined? Because they need to go together. How do we call them? Aha, the body. Well done. We're going to call them body paragraphs. Usually, we're going to have main body paragraph 1 and body paragraph 2. The body, the content of our essay. And after that, what do we have? How do we finish? Oh, no, set it over there. Sorry, I didn't see it. With the conclusion. So we don't have this structure. Why do you think we cannot see this structure in the example? Why is it impossible for us to see the structure? Because we have no paragraphs. Well done. Thank you, Raul. We have no paragraphs. All of this is just a big block of text that is very difficult to read without any separation between paragraphs. And that is another important aspect when we are writing our essays. In the structure that we created together, we just saw the introduction, body paragraph 1, body paragraph 2, and the conclusion. 4 different paragraphs, each one with a different intention, each one with a different idea. And that is something that we do not see in here. And another reason why this type of question is not going to achieve a high band score because it is not correctly organized into paragraphs. Even if what you wrote over here has good grammar, has good vocabulary, it's going to be extremely difficult to read. It is not appropriate for an essay. So in terms of coherence and cohesion, that is the last criteria that we are checking, we're going to focus on the use of cohesive devices, the linkers that we talked about before in the paragraph that only had short sentences, and paragraphing. 2 important things that we need to create in order to create a good essay. All of these criteria that we are seeing today, guys, you can see it also in the website of IELTS. They have published this public criteria of all of the requirements that you need for IELTS task 2. Everything that we saw today, task achievement, coherence and cohesion, the lexical resource, and the grammatical range and accuracy. We talked about the requirements for a band score of a 9. So our objective, what we want to achieve. I do have a final question for you guys, and it's the following. All of you are here for a reason, so I just need you to confirm this in the chat with me. So do you want to master the IELTS exam and get a high band score? Let me know. Is this a yes or a no? Braulio says yes. Matias says yes over there. The rest of you? Yes, 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 yes. Okay. Yes, of course. So the answer to that is simple. So you just have to join us because we have cookies and we're going to treat you well. So Hani is going to give you, hopefully this was a little bit like useful for you. You had a little bit more of insight on the different criteria or all of the things that we're going to be seeing. You saw the mistakes. Now we can work together in order to make things right. So Hani is going to give you the rest of the information. I don't know if you guys have any questions, something else that you would like to know.
Thank you, teacher. Thank you so much, teacher, for joining us.
No worries, no worries.
Thank you, teacher.
So it was a pleasure, guys, and hopefully, well, no questions? No questions over here?
Apparently they don't have questions. I guess they will have it during your training.
Awesome. So, okay, guys. So it was a pleasure. It was a pleasure to be with you today and hope to see you soon. Okay, thank you for the heart, Maria Jose. Okay, guys.
Thank
See
you,
you.
teacher. Bye. Bueno, chicos, voy a continuar con una información general que tenemos para ustedes. Nuestra escuela tiene 3 cursos de preparación. Estos se dividen en Premium, Silver y Gold. Al final de este webinar, o bueno, ya estamos terminando, van a quedarse con asesores de nuestras diferentes sedes para que ustedes puedan recibir la información pertinente acerca de cada uno de nuestros cursos de preparación. Como les platicaba, tenemos 3 cursos. El Premium es el curso privado. Este es recomendado para aquellas personas que ya hayan presentado el ielts y desafortunadamente no hayan obtenido la banda que necesitaban. Entonces, estas son 20 horas de clases privadas en donde cada uno de los tutores, obviamente va a trabajar con un sílabus personalizado. Por ejemplo, ustedes pueden dividir esas 20 horas en 10 horas de actividades, productivas en speaking y 10 horas en writing, o si solo quieren ver writing durante esas 20 horas, también podemos manejar eso. Nuestro curso básico es el curso Silver. Este curso, tanto el Silver y el Gold están desarrollados para que ustedes, si toman el examen Academic o General Training, lo puedan tomar. Silver es nuestra capacidad, es nuestro training de 40 horas. Obviamente, mi recomendación para aquellas personas que van a tomar el examen académico siempre va a ser el Gold porque tienen más horas de writing, que como es una de las habilidades que nos cuesta a las personas que no somos nativas desarrollar. Y finalmente, uno de los beneficios que nosotros tenemos, nuestra institución tiene, bueno, tenemos muchos beneficios, pero entre ellos se encuentra una plataforma de autoestudio. Esta plataforma a la que ustedes pueden accesar es una vez que realicen el booking de su examen, porque todos nuestros paquetes incluyen el examen, van a poder acceder a esta plataforma y sería un complemento a lo que ustedes tienen dentro de la habilidad. Obviamente, que en esta plataforma van a trabajar de manera diferente a lo que manejan con los tutores. No va a ser el mismo material, son totalmente diferentes y pueden trabajarlo al mismo tiempo o, como les comentaba, meses después de que ustedes adquieran, tomen su curso. Todos nuestros tutores son tutores certificados. ¿Qué quiere decir estos? Que tienen las más altas certificaciones de teaching, tienen metodología avanzada, son celtas, deltas, entonces tengan la seguridad que nosotros manejamos lo mejor. Aparte, nosotros somos un centro teacher training, entonces entrenamos maestros. Somos avalados por International House World, entonces nosotros tenemos este tipo de convenios en los cuales tenemos auditorías muy a menudo y contarás con el apoyo de la institución con la cual te certificarás. Esto es muy beneficioso porque muchas veces toman el curso en otros lugares y presentan el examen con nosotros, porque nosotros somos un centro certificador de ielts y después no es la misma información, a veces estamos perdidos porque no sabemos dónde está nuestra sede, cómo realizar nuestro booking. Entonces ustedes van a contar con el apoyo de un asesor que les va a guiar en todos los procedimientos que nosotros manejamos. ¿Ok? Y finalmente, todos los participantes de nuestro webinar van a tener 10% de descuento en el paquete ielts Silver, que es nuestro paquete básico. Les voy a pedir que se queden para que puedan recibir la información pertinente. Y pues finalmente les agradecemos mucho que hayan conectado con nosotros. Muy pronto también recibirán la información para nuestro webinar de speaking con otro tutor para que puedan seguir practicando con nosotros antes de presentar su examen. Entonces voy a crear 3 breakout rooms para que ustedes puedan integrarse con nuestros asesores y les puedan dar la información pertinente. Mientras les voy a habilitar el micrófono para que puedan platicar con ellos. ¿Ok? Muchas gracias.